Hi there. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me. I know I'm a bit early. I wasn't planning on being live for about another 5 minutes or so, but I figured why not, right? I have a quick project, actually two little quick projects tonight using the Say It Ain't Snow. Yes, we already had our first snow here. Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy? And the Grow and Grace transfers. And these are small. They're 4.5 by 6.5. So they're actually ideal for what I'm going to be using them for. Now, I am using one of our ink mats that I have cut up to basically fit the size of baby onesies. I cut my mat to about 11 inches by 7 inches. I'm sorry, I just need to grab a bottle of water here. I just didn't realize how dry-mouthed I am. So I cut my mat to 11 by 7 inches. If you don't have an ink mat, you can use a smooth piece of cardboard. That'll work just fine. Oh, that helps a lot. And the idea behind an ink mat is to protect, especially when you're using something like a onesie or a t-shirt or whatever, is to prevent the ink that you're going to apply from going through the top layer and ending on the back layer or the bottom layer. So you need a barrier there. So that's all that I'm doing with this. Clean up my area a little bit here so I have a little bit more room to work. And this is sticky, it's adhesive, so it actually will stick to the fabric and hold everything nice and in place for you as you apply your ink. Now, for anyone new to chalk, generally we use our chalk paste, which comes in jars with a black lid, for things that are not going to be washed, and our ink, which comes in jars with a white lid, for things that will be washed. I'm going to actually be using an individual packet of ink that I have used for another project a while back, but it's the exact color that I wanted for this baby onesie. So I was like, oh, wait a second, I've got it, because I was thinking of either using this or mixing up my own color, but I think the Ocean Mist will work perfect for what I need it to. So I'm not going to get started for another 3 minutes until I start right at 3 o'clock. So if you need to, go grab yourself something to drink, get comfy, and we'll do a little bit of inking and talking about stress. And yes, I know I planned on doing this days and days ago, but my life just has not been, a lot of it hasn't been within my control, and things have been totally crazy. So I'm finally here picking up where I left off. I'm generally a big iced tea drinker, and I quit drinking iced tea for whatever reason. And I have to admit, today I really, really miss it. Maybe because we're almost up to 70 degrees right now, which is nice after the snow we had a little over a week ago. Crazy, crazy weather. Oh yeah, we're at 69 degrees right now. How do you like that? Beautiful sunshiny day. So this, like I said, I've used it before. I actually open up my ink packets from the bottom so that I leave this little color panel intact on the top. The bottom doesn't have a color panel like that. And if you notice, our ink packets are white here, where our paste black paste packets would be black here. Just a little nice reminder so that you don't accidentally grab ink when you're looking for paste or whatever. So ink for things that'll be washed, paste for everything else. And the difference with ink is once you apply it and it dries, you need to heat set it. And you could heat set it with an iron or a heat press or in an oven if you're doing ceramics. I wouldn't put fabric in an oven. For fabric, use a heat press or an iron. I think that about covers it. You just set it for whatever your fabric is. So anyway, I have used some of this paste before, and then I rolled it down and taped it with a piece of our placement tape, which is kind of like washi tape, so that it stayed sealed from the air so that it didn't dry out. And I'm going to actually use this on this baby onesie for my first project. And what am I going to put? I'm going to put, "Say It Ain't Snow." Won't that look sweet? And I haven't washed these onesies first. There's really no reason to pre-wash. I've left the tags on and everything so that the recipient will know how to wash them and care for it and all that. But once you've heat set your project with our ink, you just treat it as you would normally. There's no special care necessary at all. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock, so let's jump right in here. I'm going to open up this paste packet. I've broken a few nails recently, so I'm struggling a little bit with opening things. Break both thumbnails, isn't that crazy? Okay. So I'm going to massage this a little bit. Hopefully I don't need to add any water to it. It looks like I actually have air in it, so we'll see what condition it is when it comes out. If this doesn't work, I'll mix up my own color using some blue and white. Yeah, I don't know. There we go. I don't need a lot. Just kind of want to make sure the consistency is right, and it looks a little glumpy to me. Let me grab a stir stick. Actually, I have a stir stick right here that I was using with the white. I can mix that in and see if I need to add a little water to this. Yeah, it looks like it got it. Well, no, maybe it's fine. It just looks like maybe I need a little bit more than I had. It looks like it got a little bit of air into that packet. It seemed kind of weird because the packet seemed a little puffy to me. So let me squeeze a bit more out of this. Oh, that's going to be way too much, but it'll be fine. And let me just mix this up because I know I had some white on my stir stick. Let me mix it in there. I wanted a nice light blue for the wording on this. When you seal up your paste in the packets, make sure you squeeze all the air out. I obviously didn't. Okay, and the one thing you want to be careful when you're inking is always make sure that you have clean fingers. You don't want to accidentally have some ink on your fingers and then transfer it to the to your surface or your shirt or whatever you're inking. You don't want to get a splotch of ink somewhere where you don't intend it. So I usually have a package of baby wipes handy, and I use them to clean my fingers. Never use baby wipes to clean your transfers, though, because they have like lanolin or something in them. And that'll reduce the adhesiveness of your transfers, and you don't want to do that. So let me clean up my fingers. Okay, I think we're about ready to go. So I have this transfer. I just have to take the little backer off of it. I do not, more ink on my fingers here. I do not have to fuzz it because I'm putting it on fabric, so there's no reason to diminish the stickiness. I'm just going to place this and then we'll ink it. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I want to get it just underneath the sleeves there. Make sure it's straight. Press it down. Now the 7 inches is perfect for these because it allows like a 1/4 inch on each side for the width of the transfer. So that's easy to do. Grab a squeegee. And all I'm going to do is apply the ink, squeeze it through the silk screen, make sure I get everything covered, and that's it. I'm just going over it gently. With ink, I sometimes go over it more than once, just giving it a chance to go through the silk screen and be absorbed into the fabric. And you need to watch not to go off the edge, of course. If you have a transfer that is really close to the edge and you're afraid of going off the edge, use our placement tape or a piece of painter's tape to basically hold it in place and make sure that if you go off, you hit the tape and not the fabric where you don't want it. Oh goodness, I can't even talk straight today. I'm struggling, I don't know. busy morning, crazy morning, and I don't know. I have to start taking my own advice. So what I tried to do last week is create a couple projects that I could have handy, packaged up and ready to go with whatever ink or paste colors I wanted. Just going over here and removing any excess ink, making sure I have coverage at the bottom of my letters, and basically good to go, ready to go in whatever, so that when I am stressed, instead of letting it take control or take over, I could just sit down and do a project. Something to clear my mind, focus on something else, and help relieve the stress. And I think crafting is perfect for that. Now I've got everything covered here. Smoothing it out, going it over again. I think I'm pretty much done. I want a finger check before I lift it up. I want to make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers. Now I'm going to lift it up from the side, and I'm going to slowly lift it and make sure I have everything covered. If I don't, then I could just lay it back down and add some more ink to it. The W looks good. The O I know has a distressed area, so does the N. Say it ain't snow. Right down here on the little bottom of the S looks like it just needs a little bit that I might have missed. So let's go back over that. And I have ink on my fingers, I should have checked. Okay, very good. That was simple, wasn't it? Look at how quick and easy it was. One shirt down. Now I will sit this aside and let it dry. The ocean blue is kind of like a light blue, a grayish blue. It's not really dramatic, but it's just kind of the look that I wanted, kind of reminiscent of that cast that snow could have sometimes. A little bit more gray, but that little bit of light blue. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. I'm going to leave the ink mat in it. It's fine. I could take it out if I want. But before I heat set it, I must remove this ink mat because it would melt. So always remove your ink mat, whether you're using a heat press or you're using an iron. Just remember to take your ink mat out of the way before you heat set your project. Get that out of the way. Check my fingers again. Now my next project is another onesie, and it's pretty simple. I'm just going to use some white on it. I need another baby wipe just in case I smear something on my fingers, okay? But what I want you to think about with crafting is it's a nice distraction. It actually boosts your confidence and it elevates your mood. You're doing something creative. Don't do anything really involved or something that you haven't done before. This is not the time, if you crochet, to try a new stitch. Do something that you're familiar with, something that's easy and quick and that doesn't require a lot of prep, but something that'll easily distract you from whatever is stressing you out. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Pretty much what I just did. The first shirt is a one and done. One color, no fancy things to do with it. And the same thing with this one. This is Grow in Grace. That's what I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to just use it in white. And our transfers, in case you're not aware of them, always come in our, like a cellophane envelope. And on the back of the envelope, for whatever size, for our A size, which is the 4.5 by 6.5, up through our E size, which is like 18 by 24 inches, there's always going to be this little sticker on the back that explains how to use it. There's use and care in all the steps for applying and heat setting and cleaning your transfers. In English, and I'm pretty sure French probably for our Canadian customers. So if you're ever thrown, here's your instructions. If you have questions or you're not sure or you just need a little clarification, drop me a line, let me know. And by the way, if you're viewing me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you're watching me on Facebook, come on over to my Facebook group, Craft with Kathie, and follow me there. We are in the midst of week 2 of our Black Friday specials right now, which are really some really cool deals. One of the things going on right now is we have a door buster special where you can get a set of, I think it's 10 ink markers that are perfect for inking on fabric for only $10. And that Black Friday special goes on until Sunday, so till tomorrow night at midnight. You could jump in and take advantage of that special. And you know what? I need to move this over a teensy bit because I don't have it quite centered here. And then we also have a free gift with the $50 purchase. And we have some, the free gift is really cool. It's a heat set thing with heat transfers and keychains. And there's just so much going on. Head on over there. It's www.chalkcouture/KB. And you'll see all about all the things that are happening right now. Okay, so I'm just going to use our white ink here. Let me grab a clean squeegee and just add this design, Grow in Grace. I thought this would be so pretty on the deeper pink. And I'm going to adjust this once again because it looks like it just isn't quite, I had it centered, but it was little tilted to the side. See if I can get it right this time. Okay, like who's going to really notice with a wriggling baby anyway, right? Okay, so just apply the ink, just like I did on the first one. Smoothing it over all the silk screen with my squeegee. Kind of going over it more than once. Cleaning up the excess. Now, obviously, I could put the excess here back into my jar because I did put too much on my transfer here. Almost dropped it. But so quick and easy to do. Like I said, pick a project that's simple, something you're familiar with, something that's easy to do, and just spend some time crafting. Clear your mind. Create something beautiful. By the time you're done, you'll have a feeling of accomplishment. You'll be in a much better mood. Let me clean up any more excess space that I have here. And you'll have created something beautiful and useful. Just that little bit of time for yourself and where you can say, I made this. It'll reduce endorphins, which are the feel-good hormone, and you'll be in a better mood and you won't be carrying around quite as much stress. So try it. What could it hurt, really? Let me cover up my ink here. Close my jar up. I don't want that to dry out. If your ink or your paste ever dries out, spritz a little distilled water in it and stir it up. And you want to use distilled water because you don't want to take the chance that any minerals from your tap water could impact the pigments in the paste or in the ink. So I'm going to lift this up. I probably should have done this before I covered up my ink, right? Oh, isn't that sweet? I might color in these flowers. I'm not quite sure if I will or not. I think it's fine on its own. Yeah, I think it's fine on its own. I think if I try coloring them in, it just kind of dilutes the image. I think it's a better impact, just one color like this. So thank you so much for joining me. And next time life's got you feeling heavy and a little stressed out, create, chalk, paint, ink, or stitch your way back to calm. Believe me, it'll brighten up your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you soon.